going on? Welcome to the Bottom Line Podcast, your sports and entertainment destination. Jimmy Finizzi with you. I hope you're well. You already know what to do. Hit us up on all social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at BottomLineWMCX. Use hashtag BottomLine and follow us as well. Helps us a lot. Also, if you are new to this podcast, first of all, thank you for checking us out. And second of all, do us a huge favor and subscribe on YouTube and hit that bell so you don't miss an episode, and subscribe on all audio platforms and include Jimmy when searching for this podcast. All right, so if you don't recall, a couple months back, Austin and I were interviewed by a man named Darran Bruce of a show called The DJ Sessions. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a Twitch-based podcast where they interview all kinds of electronic DJs, they feature electronic music. Basically, it's a music-based entertainment podcast. They stream on Twitch every single week, so if you haven't heard of them, go check them out, thedjsessions.com. You can also follow them on social media at the DJ Sessions. So I am getting the chance to sit down with Darran today on our show. Austin was not able to make this, so I guess you can say one-on-one is back, kinda, sorta, ish. But anyway, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into our exclusive conversation with Mr. Darran Bruce of the DJ Sessions. Enjoy it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't recall, a couple months back, Austin and I had the chance to sit down and do an exclusive interview with the man to my left over here. If you're not watching on YouTube, you probably can't see it, but you get my point. But we had an opportunity to sit down with Mr. Darran Bruce, the executive producer of the DJ Sessions, an exclusive Twitch-based music DJ entertainment podcast. Whatever the heck you want to call it, it's music-based. We don't care. It's a podcast. It's a show. We interview interesting people. He's interesting. He wanted us, and we wanted him. Now it's our turn to return the favor. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the one and only Darran Bruce of the DJ Sessions. Darran, what's going on, man? How are we doing?
Hey, Jimmy. Good to be here today.
Hey, it's good to have you on, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to interview us. First of all, we had a blast on your show. And if you haven't seen that yet, I'll post a link down below in the description section, both on YouTube and on all audio platforms, so you can check out his interview with us, which was a lot of fun. We talked about our show. Which, by the way, Darran, I don't know if you've noticed, but we recently just hit 1,000 subscribers, which is completely mind-boggling to me. In like a week span, I mean, it's absolutely nuts. So things have been a little crazy, but well, I'm glad we're finally able to get this interview done and out of the way. So let's not waste any more time, man. Let's just get into this. So I guess the simple question to go to is an origin story question, which again, if you don't know, I love origin stories. I don't care. I have to know how people got started. So with that being said, how did you first get started in this business?
In the business or doing the DJ sessions itself?
Actually, let me rephrase that question. How did you get started with doing the DJ sessions?
There you go. It was actually an idea that was kind of pitched to me in early 2009. I was at Winter Music Conference with a friend of mine, and I was doing my broadcast television series that was going to NBC at the time called ITV. Right. And we were out at Winter Music Conference in Florida. I don't know why somebody's calling me from Egypt, but okay.
I'll edit it. It's okay, but continue. Go ahead.
And so, anyways, we're at the Winter Music Conference, and I'm filming. I'm doing interviews with a number of celebrities, big name DJs, and one of the guys we were staying with, this big penthouse condo, comes to me and says, "Hey, Darran, I'm thinking about doing a live streaming DJ show." And I'm like, "Okay, well, where are you going to do this?" Because of the cost to stream was horrendous. I mean, I was running internet radio stations out of my server out of my house. And, I had like 7 of them going, and I wanted to look into streaming video live, and it was going to be like $3,000 a month just for the server. Then I got to buy the server, host the rack mount, redundant servers, blah, blah, all this stuff. I'm like, who's going to pay for this? He's like, well, there's this company called Ustream that will do it. You can do it for free through that. I'm like, no one's doing it for free. There has to be a catch. And then I thought, well, and I'm a heavy Mac guy. So I'm like, oh, they probably built it and it probably only works on PC or some proprietary software. And so I'm not going to ever be able to do it. And so we got back home and I kind of started playing around with Ustream and Livestream just to find out what would they work on a Mac? How stable were they? What was the catch? What was the cost? And started kind of bouncing the idea around about, hey, what would I like to do if I wanted to do a live streaming show? Because I had 8 separate television shows airing at that time.
Right.
And so what would I want to do? So it came around to about July of 2009. And I did my first ever full-fledged show live stream, ITV Live, because the name of the shows was ITV. And we had short films. We did it at a place called the Central Cinema. So it's a little theater where you can get beer and food and stuff here in Seattle.
Right.
And we had a DJ up on stage. We had live audience participation. We had a host. We showed short films. We had some music, fashion, comedy. All this kind of wrapped up the whole smorgasbord of our broadcast television series, but put into a live theater setting. And after I did that series, I came back and said, what was the easiest part to do? The easiest part of that show was when we had the DJ playing for 30 minutes for each of the breaks.
Right.
I said, that was the easiest content I think I've ever produced in my entire life. So I got this idea. I said, you know what? I'm going to do a live streaming DJ show. And I knew a lot of people in the nightlife community in Seattle, been around here for a while, and started pitching it to a friend of mine, Alex Eagleton. And we're talking about it. We were wondering where we're going to film this, because I wasn't going to film it in my living room of my house, or, I didn't have a studio at the time. So I'm like, where are we going to go? Are we going to work with nightclubs and do this?
Subtle shot at me right now, but okay, I see how it is.
No.
I'm just playing around.
There's a funny story, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But no, I mean, I was just bouncing the idea around. And then, of course, if we wanted to shoot it at a nightclub, how are we going to get internet in the nightclub? Because most businesses carry enough internet to do credit card transactions, which isn't enough bandwidth at all for live streaming anyways. So, that was an issue. So one day, my friend Alex Eagleton just calls me up. It was a Tuesday night. He just calls me up out of the blue. He goes, Darran, I'm coming over and we're doing the DJ sessions. I said, okay. And at this time I was like going on Facebook and I was doing some crazy karaoke kind of stupid stuff in front of the camera and acting like a fool, to get viewers to watch. And so he comes over, sits down at my house, but he brings a couple bottles of wine, and I put a camera in front of me looking at me this way, and he's over my shoulder or over this shoulder. And then I had another camera looking down at him, and he's on his laptop, because I was asking him, I'm like, how are you going to DJ? He goes, I'll DJ on my laptop. I go, you can do that? He goes, yeah, I can do that. I'm like, okay, cool. Come over, we got the headsets on, we're Facebooking, we're talking, the show, all of a sudden, about an hour into the show, I stand up to go to the bathroom, and I take my headsets off, and it's completely dead silent in my apartment. And I'm going, I just felt like I was in a nightclub for the last hour, interacting with people. I mean, it was very surreal, and I put the headsets back on, took them off. I was like, this is okay. So the next week, I went, okay, now I'm going to step this up. We're really going to do this. So I went and made a studio in my bedroom and fired up. I had multiple cameras, got some DJ gear from some friends, and started doing the DJ sessions at my apartment, and called it the new studio. And then it was about a month and a half into that. I was only featuring local DJs at the time. And that was what the show was supposed to be, was about giving local DJs access to an online live streaming platform. I was the video guy, never learned how to DJ, don't want to know how to DJ. It's a joke that I play, even though I'm listed as a DJ on our website, but I'm not a DJ. But I was the video guy and they were the DJs. So I think it was October or November of that year, Dave Dresden was coming to town. And I had interviewed Dave Dresden. Dave Dresden is a very, very world-renowned DJ, very big name in the DJ world, Gabriel Dresden.
Right.
And he comes to town, and I hit up his PR person because I had spoken with her earlier in the year. And that's how I got the interview with him at Winter Music Conference, and said, hey, would Dave be willing to come by and be on the show? And would he maybe play a set too? This is a guy who usually gets probably nice 5 figures for his shows. So I just went out on a limb. And was like, can he play set? So Dave Dresden comes over and does not only the interview, but plays a set in my bedroom.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there just going, okay, this is really happening. This is really, we were doing our show. There's another show out there that I won't name because I don't like giving free plugs, but there was another show out there. It started 2 years after we did with celebrity DJs streaming them live. And we were doing it before all that, which is just really cool. And I said, I'm on to something here. And then I kind of just went all in. I went and got a new studio spot. A year later, I ended up buying our mobile studio, the glass box truck. If you ever look at our website, the mobile sessions, and had that. And then it just kind of just kept going up from there. But it wasn't until about 2018 till I really took things seriously. Mm-hmm. I was always kind of back and forth and hum and hone and, but in 2018 I said, okay, you know what? I'm taking this. We're trademarking the name. I'm getting the business license, we'll go full bore. And, we started doing our own events. We were doing rooftop parties, events. We started doing silent disco, silent concert events. And 19 was kind of a little bit more like a little bit crazy. And
right.
Came right in the end of 19. And I said, we had a little bit of success because we actually moved we were with Ustream for years. And Ustream was hosting us, and they got bought out by IBM.
Oh,
and
wow.
So all of a sudden, the $10 a month grandfathered storage plan that we were on, which was for back end because we were a featured stream by them, they gave us this really killer deal. And I'm like, $10 a month, can't beat that. We got like 5 terabytes worth of storage and all this fun stuff. And IBM comes in and says, you got to remove all like 600 of your videos off of our server because you're not going to have access unless you're going to pay us. You're not going to have access to them. And I'm like, what do you mean pay? I'm on this. I go, no, we're doing away with that plan. And the current plan you're on, we calculated it'll be about $1,600 to $1,700 a month for you to keep your files, keep access to all your files and everything. And I'm like, I don't have that kind of money. So I had to quickly figure out a way to download all those videos from the server. And so I'm like, okay, now I just lost my whole live streaming platform. This is early 2018. And I reached out to some people over at Twitch. I said, hey, Twitch, this is our story. This is our show. This is what we got. They immediately onboarded us as a featured partner.
There you go.
We were one of the first featured partnered live streaming DJ shows on Twitch. And they put us to the front page of Twitch. And that was, we were there for 2 hours one day. Luckily, the internet held where we were streaming from. And I had like 2,700 people in the chat room just going. I mean, it was going. I had never seen anything like this before. And it was at that moment. And that's when I really decided to, okay, Twitch is taking us on board. Twitch is pushing us. We got to revamp. We got to get a new website. We got to get our socials in order. We got to get everything in order. Let me trademark the name because I want to go out and knocking on sponsors' doors. This is a huge win for us. And that was really awesome. And so it took about the next year and a half, almost 2 years, of kind of not doing much online. There was no sense of urgency. And we, in some ways, still are writing the playbook on the live streaming kind of thing. I mean, now, obviously, what happened in 2020, everyone jumping online, it seems like everyone has a podcast or a live stream nowadays. But I was kind of resting on my laurels. I was kind of just like, hey, let's kick back. Let me focus on our physical in real life events. Yeah. And streaming not so much because when you go out on site, finding stable internet is pretty damn hard. I ended up buying a specific piece of gear that will let me pretty much stream from anywhere in the world. That being said, I came into late 19 saying, okay, you know what? 2020 is going to be our year. We're gonna blow this out of the water. It's gonna go big. Here we are. I'm getting ready to go back to the front page of Twitch. The website's up and running, or at least version 2 is up and running, which I can talk about the website in a few moments. Right. Just getting all the ducks in a row and everything in order. And obviously March of 2020, pretty much everything shut down. And I mean, we know how that story goes. And everybody in the world jumped online. I mean, to knock on the door and ask somebody to be part of a DJ show at that point, if you were a DJ, when every DJ is like, nope, I got my own thing I'm doing. And plus my phone is just going off the hook. Like, I mean, everyone's asking me about copyright laws. How do you do this? What kind of cameras do I get? How do I do this? When do I set up? How do you get away with it? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, the animosity and the bullshit that I saw was like, I'm just going to step away from the whole live streaming thing for a minute. Like everyone else, I call it the look at me years.
Yeah.
and that's all you saw on the socials, every other message coming out. And this is before I cleaned up my Facebook. I had 4,996 friends on Facebook. You only allowed 5,000.
Oh my goodness.
and it was every other message was just look at me, 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 look at me. And it's like, okay, you all understand nobody's gonna be looking at you. You can't have people watching multiple shows at the same time. Let alone every celebrity in the world is jumping online, and every person who, I would say this in the most polite way, a no name, don't have an online following, is jumping online at the same time. And choose your time you were going to stream, choose your time when you were going to play, and all that fun stuff. And I was like, I want to be part of that mix. One of the things we were focusing on at that time, we were able to do what we called safe silent discos, because all venues and places were closed down. All the nightclubs and venues were closed down, but you could come by our event and get a pair of headsets from us, and we'd slide it across the table, 6 feet across the table to you. It was in a sealed bag with a Purell wipe and already sanitized. You could take that headset and go out, 1,000 feet away from our DJ booth and still have a collective dance music experience, but be safe about it. We could do this at the parks. That was a fun one for 2020. And we were kind of doing that. Got a little heat for that, but oh well. We knew what we were doing was completely legit and okay. And then it was about it was early 2021. One of my DJs comes to me and says, "Darran, what's up with the website?" And I said, "Remember, we're on version 2 of the website." And I said,
"Oh, okay."
So yeah, it is kind of a little dated. It is. And he goes, "Yeah." And so then I spent the first quarter, or about 3.5 months, building version 3 of the website, which is what we have today, and getting ready to get branding and go back. Because in 2020, we actually were talking to a major alcohol sponsor that was looking to have us. I'm jumping a little bit back and forth here, but we had a major alcohol sponsor just to say how things were really moving for 2020. They wanted us to do a 12 to 15 city tour with our mobile studio, hiring celebrity DJs, local DJs, street team, and had to call with both West Coast and East Coast marketing directors.
By the way, I don't mean to cut you off there, and I apologize, but if you guys didn't just see what you just saw on YouTube, my dog just opened my own bedroom door and decided to just lay down underneath my desk.
I didn't see that.
For those that are watching on YouTube, you got yourself a real treat there. But anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Darran.
No, that's all good. I didn't see that. But basically, what happened
does that a lot in my house, so it's okay.
Yeah,
anyway.
we had a big contract. Like it was we're looking at upwards of $250,000 or more for like 3 months worth of work, and that was going to really kick things off and give us an operating budget and all that fun stuff. So set the way forward clock to 2021. We started going back and doing live streaming again, started doing events, doing stuff out, had the new website focused. We just launched Roku, Amazon Fire, and Google Play. We're launching an Apple TV app. Our website now shows our live interview calendar, our events calendar, and our partnerships. The people we're working with, we're really running and now turning everything in to make it more of an international brand, getting it recognized more around the world. And we have some really big names that have been on the show. We've had some big names that are coming up on the show. You can go to our website and find out everything we're up to. And that version, that website's only at version 3.2. We still have probably 4 more reiterations under version 3 that we'll release coming up. But now we're ready to move forward.
Yeah, I was gonna say things are looking up for you guys, because at the time of this recording, you guys have 2,343 episodes and counting, according to your website, which if you want to go check it out for yourself, thedjsessions.com, you can go check that out for yourself. And you have featured some big name artists, like you said, over the past 12 years of doing this. You have featured artists such as MJ Cole, Lady Wax, and my personal favorite, the great Lindsey Sterling. I mean, how the hell do you do this? Like, just tell, how the hell do you do this, A? And B, tell me what it's like to feature such big name artists like these throughout the entire world, not just in this country, but the entire world.
Yeah, It was getting over that first hump. I had interviewed my first interview I ever actually did with a DJ. Well, I wouldn't say I actually was when we did ITV Nightlife. That was one of our branches of our broadcast show. We'd go out to the nightclubs and we'd interview the celebrity DJs that were coming in. I think our first pilot episode was Cosmic Gate, was Bossy from Cosmic Gate. And, you know, I look at it as like, at that time, YouTube was brand newish. You know, there was video podcast. This is 2005.
Right.
You know, so we were on a broadcast show. So it's kind of like saying the show must go on. I can't get starstruck. I can't get fan struck when it's my job to go out there. And I learned this a long time ago with my first show that I put to Fox back in 2001, 2002 called Phantasmagoria, that I have to put content on that viewers are going to want to see. And if I'm putting somebody on the show that's like, okay, they might have a nice little local following, but what does that mean regionally? What does that mean nationally? What does that mean internationally? Great, you're interviewing these local DJs. Awesome. Or is the eye candy going to be, oh, wow, you have Lindsey Sterling, you have MJ Cole, you have BT, you have Seven, you know, you have these names. And, you know, it's about I just think that it was part of my job. So that fear gets removed when you go for the ask.
Right.
And you got to have the confidence as well. You also have to have the viewership, you know, so it's
that
always
is true. That is true.
Always, you know, I mean, they aren't going to always answer the call for everyone that knocks on their door. And I feel lucky enough. I feel honored that these people say yes to come on the show.
Yeah.
And I could name drop all day long, and we do in every single email that goes out. And we recently just increased our outreach by 800%. We were sending 40 emails a week, and now we send about 300 emails a week out. And we're really ramping up.
Really impressive.
We're ramping up. I just had to dial my schedule back because I was able to have 4 interviews scheduled a day. I just had to kind of dial that back, so I might get 2, maybe 3 if the timing works out. But I opened my schedule was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then I had to open up Thursday. Then I opened up Friday mornings. And I'm just like, okay, now I'm not having time to do anything else because I'm just doing massive interview push. But we did that to see what would happen if we pushed that button, you know, and being relevant in the eyes of the gatekeepers and showing that we're delivering what we say we're going to do. You know, it's not we're filming an episode and then it doesn't come out for 2 months or 3 months. We're filming it. It's live. You know, it's moving over to the platform. We just moved into using Restream as our back-end platform now to do live interviews. So when we go live, it's live on Facebook, it's live on YouTube, it's live on Twitch. It lives on, I leave an unedited version up on YouTube, which is great, but I'll come back and I'll edit it and I'll put our bumpers and commercials and all that fun stuff on it and then put it into our series and put it to our website. But now we know what can happen when we push that button. Absolutely. And in the music business, you got to kind of be on the go, because there's always something happening with somebody, you know, and we want to be taken as a very creditable news source or creditable media outlet. So when people say, hey, we want, and it's starting to happen, it's happened in the past, but usually we get the ball rolling and things stop. Yeah. Now we're getting solicited by the people who work with all these big name artists saying, hey, came across you. We'd love to get our artists on the show. Okay, good. Here's the calendar link. Go ahead and schedule it. You know, kind of automated the process in the background, but you just can't be afraid, you know? And obviously there has to be a value add for the artist to want to come on. Sometimes they might just do it because they want to be nice. Sometimes they'll do it because oh, wow, you have 125,000 downloads a week. Oh, okay. You are 0.11% of the world in top shows, and we can go verify that through third-party sources. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. You want to come on? You know? So, just asking. And that Lindsey interview was quite amazing. It was Macau. I hope I didn't say his name wrong again. It's funny because at the end of the interview, I was just finishing up and I said, Lindsey Sterling and Macau. I think I said Mako.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, because it's Mako. And Lindsey says at the end of the interview, and this happens, man. Bloopers happen. You know,
right. No, absolutely.
you gotta just kind of roll with it. And I finished the stream and I turn it on and do the Zoom. She goes, Darran, one thing. I go, what? And she goes, you said his name wrong at the end of the
Oh
interview. I
no.
went, I did. And she's such a sweetheart. And so I went back and I grabbed the audio of when I first said his name in the beginning and went and dubbed it over at the end, trying to make it
wow.
the best I could.
That's smart. All right.
If you know what to look for, you know what to look for. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah. No, I completely get that 100%. I mean, doing this show for 5 years now and continuing to go at it. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out some things. I've been trying to email people left and right, me personally having to try and get them on our show. And, some have worked out, some haven't. But you know what? At the end of the day, you just gotta keep trudging forward and just hope for better things ahead. I mean, that's really all you can do, especially when it comes to podcasting or just anything in broadcasting in general.
Well, the way I look at it is a numbers game. And if I have competitors out there, which I do now, because a lot of them were calling me in 2020 saying, how do I do this? How do I do this? I go, I give away my free advice to you, but wait a second. Are you trying to become my competitor? I'm giving you advice to help build you up. And so I used to give away 98% of my information away for free. Now I give 97% away.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That's a massive difference there. Just saying.
It is when people don't want to understand the ins and outs of basically entertainment production. Like,
right.
I've seen people literally attack people on forums, on Facebook forums, threads, because they said, I want to promote my show. I want to buy ads on Facebook for my show. And these people go, you can't do that. That's cheating. You can't do that. You're not. And it's like, so you're telling them that they can't market their show. They can't put money in their show. Who are you people?
Exactly. I was going to say that. Yeah.
Where does this knowledge come from? That, and I had this guy come up to me once and he's like, well, Darran, I just, he thought he was my friend. We're still friends on Facebook. I thought he was a nice guy. And he just shows up pops up on one of my shows. He goes, how are you getting all your viewers? Because people talk. And I'm like, I market my show. I maybe I can say this now. I go on Discords. I go on Reddit groups. I have people that work for me and pump the show out there. I have fans that also pump the show on their social medias. Yeah. Something that you don't have. They all jumped into an online world, not prepared for what that online world came, and then went, well, this is really hard. Well, yeah, when you got 85% of your industry or literally 100% of the industry saying, look at me, look at me, look at me, what's the incentive for them to look at you? What are you doing that's different? What are you doing that's going to stand out? If you're just another DJ playing in your bedroom with a webcam, whoop-de-doo. I mean, you and everyone else.
Pretty much.
And
by the way, speaking of marketing, I'm going to do that a little bit right now, if you don't mind, because we actually also are on Discord and we're also on Patreon. Both links are down below in the description section on YouTube and on audio. So please go join both Discord and Patreon. It would mean the world to us. But anyway, I digress there. Let's continue with our conversation. I got a couple more questions here for you. You mentioned you are based in Seattle, Washington, that is. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, I gotta ask you this, since we are a sports podcast as well. Are you into sports at all?
I was gonna go to the Mariners game this weekend if they were playing here, but they're not.
Oh man.
I'm not a huge sports fan, although
that's okay.
We just got our Kraken team, our NHL team was first year of the Kraken. Yes. Well, no, I guess no, hockey starts back up in October, right?
Yeah, October. Yeah.
So we just finished up that was going to the new arena, the remodeled arena, and seeing hockey. That was pretty awesome.
I heard that arena is really nice.
It's beautiful. It is. I mean, the first time I went there, I think we spent the first 2 periods just walking around, and then we went and sat and watched the game.
That's awesome.
It's such a beautiful arena. Very, very well done. I went and saw a concert there as well. Got a couple more concerts coming up. I mean, I would go when we get our NBA team back, which we probably will. I would.
The Supersonics.
Sonics. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't have our basketball team right now, but the new arena that hosts the Kraken and the Storm, uh,
Yeah, that'd be perfect for them to play
it
at.
is built.
Absolutely.
It is built with NBA in mind.
Yeah,
We just have to wait
yes.
for the bid to come up to get our damn team back.
I
Um,
was thinking the same thing. I guarantee you within the next 2-3 years, the Supersonics will come back.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Because there's no way in hell that the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to last much longer. That's just me. Because when they first folded, they moved to Oklahoma City. Now they're probably going to move from Oklahoma City back to Seattle. But that's just me. That's just me. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Probably. I mean, a Seahawks game is always fun to go to. Those can always be
Seahawks, yeah.
a lot of fun. I am gonna miss Russell Crowe though. I mean, not
Ha!
Russell Crowe, Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson. See,
I
I'm not a sports fan.
I knew
That
exactly
kinda
who you
screw up.
meant. No, I knew exactly who you meant. It's okay. It's okay.
You know what? You know what it was? It popped in my head. Thinking of stadiums and thinking of the movie Gladiator.
Oh yeah.
And then and I'm thinking Russell Wilson and Russell Crowe pops in my head because I'm thinking.
I completely get it. I get it. Hey, again, like you said, bloopers happen, no big deal. But anyway,
Yeah.
I digress there. But
And then we have MLS. We have Major League Soccer too. We have soccer.
Yes,
Sounders
yes.
is pretty good. So we're getting rounded out.
yeah, what the heck is the name of that team again?
Sounders.
The Sounders. Thank you. That was it.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm not really a big soccer guy. I don't know. I mean, my mom is more of the soccer fan than me. She's a Red Bulls fan. So she'll make me watch games with her. I mean, I don't mind it. It's just boring in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, me personally, I'm not a basketball fan or a soccer fan, but I'll tell you what, if I was given the chance to watch either or, I'd rather watch soccer. I really would. Because at least you get athletes, well, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes don't cause off the field drama like in the NBA with all these players with what they're doing. Kyrie Irving especially. But I digress. That's just me. But I would rather watch soccer than basketball at this point. That's just me.
yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I mean, I don't follow either enough to
It's okay. But anyway, going back to the industry here, because I got a couple more questions for you on that.
Sure.
I know you already gave some advice on getting into this type of thing. Is there any other advice that you want to give to not just me, not just Austin, if he comes across this at some point, I'm sure he will, but to anybody out there who may be watching this who wants to get into the podcasting business, like broadcasting, DJing, whatever? Any other advice that you want to give them, whether they be starting up or whether they may be struggling a little bit? Like, what would you say to them?
The biggest thing is consistency. Is about building your brand, being consistent, and pick that day or time of the week that you're going to release, and let everyone know they can expect new episodes. Now, probably at 1:30 in the morning is probably not a good time to release stuff, because you're going to want to put your socials out there and, have a dial in your socials. And it takes time to build up your listener base. But one of the cool things you can do is there's many different ways of getting the word out about your podcast. Is, okay, if you got a subject, there's probably other podcasters out there that are probably talking about the same subject.
Yep.
See if you can get on their show, because you might both have information you could share with each other. If you like baseball and they like baseball, like, hey, I'd like to talk with you on your baseball show. And then say, hey, I'd like to invite you to talk with me about baseball on my baseball show. And get that cross promotion, that cross marketing going. There's always going to be anything out there. There's going to be experts in that field. Whether
Right.
I'm looking around my room just to make some random shit up, like whether it's iPhone repair, making lamps, making masks, watching movies, fixing an air conditioning machine. I don't know, man. Dog sitting. I don't know, man. Cat sitting.
You can pretty much look up anything on the internet,
right? And you're going to find that there's probably going to be a top podcast about it out there.
Oh, 100%, no question.
Somebody who's getting all those people like, I want to check out this pet sitting show. What do I do? Or I'm going to check out this iPhone repair or gadget repair show, or and
home improvement.
Improvement. Yeah, it could be many different things. But know your topic, do your research, and be consistent, especially if you're going to have a guest on. Make
Yeah,
sure that episode
definitely.
goes up as quickly as it can. I kind of baffles me. And hey, I'm not one to not being negative on anyone's distribution format or how they want to distribute, but if somebody interviews me and they're like, okay, well, this show is, I got interviewed a couple months ago, and they're like, okay, well, this show's probably going to air in like October.
Oh,
I'm like, you're interviewing me in June to have it air in October?
I mean, unless you have like a bunch of other episodes that are scheduled, like what's the excuse?
Why not just wait till October and just do the interview with me in October?
Exactly. Thank
You
you.
know, why
Exactly.
do it with me now and just like I think what their content delivery is they get together and they put 26 episodes together,
Yeah.
and then they release those 26 episodes while they're not in production. So it's like,
I
okay, let's
got
sit down for a couple weeks and we'll produce 26 episodes, and then that'll be our next 20. And they do that twice a year, which would keep their podcast going.
I gotcha.
I'd like to strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
I agree. I
Um,
agree.
And that's another thing that, like, with all the DJs that have come on my show as of late, DJs, producers, we actually opened up our door because we don't just do DJs anymore. We're out working with industry professionals, whether they're booking agents, booking managers, label owners, promoters. Heck, I have an app that's being released, and we're going to interview the people because it's a music-based app, and they're using a festival to promote this app. And I'm like, let me talk to them, and because the more, like, especially I'll use her first name, Jamie. She's a whiz in the PR world. She represents a number of different people, a number of different brands. Her ad agency does, or PR
Yeah.
agency. So we want to show her that, hey, we're not just about DJs. We're about everything in the whole music industry. And the more I'm on her plate, the more I'm on her frame of mind. When something pops up and says, oh, we're promoting, hey, go hit up Darran with the DJ sessions. I know he'll take the story. Darran will take the story. Darran likes like that old Life commercial. Mikey likes it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That's what I want people to know, that they are forcing us. They have our Calendly link in their thing, and they know they could just book anyone and then send an email saying, hey, Darran scheduled so-and-so to be on the show. I had somebody the other day ask me, hey, do you charge for submissions? Do you charge to be on your show? And I said, no, I don't. There's a lot of publications out there that charge to be in.
Right.
I know, because we're literally playing that game right now, and it
Yes.
can get quite expensive. And so it's basically like a pay to play. You want to be on our blog, you want to be on our website, you pay us. And so I came back and I said, no, the DJ sessions will always be free. It always has been free. And it's free to the end user to watch, and free to somebody to come on board and do something. Because we focus on wanting to get sponsors.
Yes.
And that's where our revenue is going to come from, is sponsorship and doing events and putting on events with our sponsorship money. So, just I think staying consistent and you don't got to spend a lot of money to get into this. I'm doing this from my laptop right now. I mean, I got a couple $50 lights. I got myself a nice little green screen, blue screen now. We're sponsored by Mackie, so we get Mackie gear. It's nice.
There you go.
But you don't need a $300 mic. Just make sure your audio's okay, your lighting's okay. I think that's the key thing. Our eyes, we're so used to seeing a standard in the broadcast television world or Netflix world or movie world, and you don't have to duplicate that, but you do want to make it look at least somewhat sharp. You want to make it look nice. People want to be able to see your face. If you're doing a video podcast, if you're doing an audio podcast, who cares? Come. Half the time I'm in sweatpants. My girlfriend says to me the other day, I dress up and put on my Mackie shirt and put on my sweatpants. She goes, "There's my Darran.
Oh my god.
There's my producer. That's what you're always wearing. It's your work outfit." Like, yeah. Okay, you're funny.
That's really adorable.
You're funny. You're
but
cute.
no, that's really, really good advice. I really appreciate you telling not only just me that, but our audience as well. Now, before we let you go, how can people find out more about the DJ sessions? How can they find you on social media? I know I already mentioned your website, but are there any specific links to specific episodes on your website? Like, how can people find out more about you and your show?
Yeah, we just actually added before, when you were looking at the names on the front page of our homepage of our website. The whole website's searchable. You can pretty much type in a name and it'll pull up an episode, but we've made all the names hyperlinked, so you can just click on them and go right to their episode. But the djsessions.com is the best place to go to because it has all of our socials there. I mean, we're on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Meta, Amazon. Subscribe to us via iTunes. All the social links are there. We have a mobile app that we just launched, version 1 of the mobile app we launched last year. Again, we're going to be we're in Roku, Amazon Fire, Google Play, and soon to be Apple TV. VR, if you want to find us in Altspace, we have our VR nightclubs. You can go in and check those out. Those are still being worked on and finalized, but we're super excited for those. But yeah, I know the website is, I always tell people, just go to the website. And I mean, we publish 24, we have a news story that comes out every hour on the hour of top news on the website. The amount of interviews that we're doing, I probably have anywhere from 6 to 8 interviews, live interviews per week, with guest mix sets that are coming in as well. Exclusive mixes specifically done for the show that DJs are putting together for us. Contests, events, giveaways, merchandise. There's always something happening at the djsessions.com.
Very, very nice. So you heard the man. Go check it out, the djsessions.com. Be sure you follow them on all social media at the DJ Sessions. And by the way, Meta is another word for Facebook now, people, just so you were not aware of that. But anyway, Darran, this was such a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to come and talk to me. I really appreciate it. And you're always welcome back anytime. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jimmy. You have a wonderful evening.
Hey, you too. He is Darran Bruce, the executive producer of the DJ Sessions. And go check them out on Twitch as well, twitch.tv. Just search for the DJ Sessions. It should be an easy find. Just go do it. Go follow these guys. Go follow them on Discord. Go check them out everywhere. And please, while you're at it, go follow us on Discord and Patreon as well. Links are down below. For Darran Bruce, I'm Jimmy Finizzi. This is the Bottom Line Podcast. See you in the next one. Peace and take care.